If these statements are true, the president should humbly apologize to every Gold Star mother and father and every Blue Star family that he's denigrated and insulted.
It's a disgrace. Who would say a thing like that? Only an animal would say a thing like that.
Strong words from Joe Biden and a sharp denial from President Trump over the Atlantic article claiming the president called fallen U.S. soldiers, quote, losers and suckers. Let's hear from both sides of the aisle here. Sinclair Political Commentator Ameshia Cross and member of the President's National Security Education Board, host of America First on Salem Radio, and Sinclair Media contributor Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Ameshia, I'll start with you. Jeffrey Goldberg from the Atlantic claims he's got unnamed sources. Here's my question, Ameshia. We've heard about this going back and forth. I mean, with something so important, we're a couple of months away from a presidential election. Is it smart? Is it wise to run a story like this without any named sources?
I think that this go round, the October surprise might have come in September. Unnamed sources, despite what we've heard from Trump and some of his acolytes on that front, are actually a very vital part of journalism. They've helped to crack open a lot of information regarding cases in the past of misdeeds of presidents. There were over 200 unnamed sources if we're talking about, the Watergate scandal. So unnamed sources are a essential part of journalism, specifically to help to avoid any type of reprisals for people who are giving information that the public needs to know. So I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with there being unnamed sources. What we really need to focus on is the fact that we have a president who has made disparaging remarks.
Okay, hold on. Let's stay on this. Let's stay on topic. Unnamed sources. It feels like hearsay. It feels like gossip to me with something this relevant and this big.
I don't agree with that. Again, the Watergate scandal had 200 unnamed sources. There were unnamed sources during, Clinton's impeachment as well. Like, there are unnamed sources to several things that actually have fact-based analysis to them, and we find out more information later, which I think is what we actually heard from the Atlantic editor as well when he said more is going to come out. I don't think that any of that is untrue.
Well, how about you, Sebastian? Do you think, is it okay to run a story like this? Now, remember, this could go the other way, cut the other way as well. If a story comes out about Biden with unnamed sources, should we be using unnamed sources to expose some of these rather dramatic stories?
I can play this game too. I have 27 unnamed sources that say Jeffrey Goldberg beats his wife. You see how easy that is? No, this is a hack job. This is propaganda. This is the attempt through the Billy Bush tape to try and take out the president before the election. Let's be clear what this magazine is. This is the Atlantic that has headline after headline after headline attacking the president, which is about to have this quote-unquote Atlantic Fest celebration.
Let's do this for a second, Sebastian. Jennifer Griffin, a very good reporter from Fox News, I worked with her for the better part of 11 years, had very good sources. She claims to have sources as well. Does that lend credibility to the story?
Not if they're unnamed. I mean, look at the statement yesterday. 21 individuals of senior military rank have gone on record to say this is a lie. This isn't who Donald Trump is. It didn't happen. 21 named sources to 4 unnamed ones. And by the way, John Bolton, who's no fan of the president, has gone on record to say it didn't happen. And look, let's play the game Ameshia likes to play. She likes to play identity politics. How many people in this discussion now worked in the Defense Department? I did for 5.5 years with our military, all branches. How many people in this discussion worked for the president when he was Mr. Trump and when he was President Trump? I did, and I still do. So let me tell you, this is absolutely impossible. It never happened.
All right.
Donald Trump, in my eyesight, I've seen him do this, loves our military.
And there's no question. And I would actually say Biden probably loves the military as well. But here's the point. Ameshia, what about it? When John Bolton, who had a book that was unbelievably anticipated and just trashed President Trump top to bottom, Ameshia, when Bolton says that this never happened because he was there, now can we push back on this story and maybe point some fingers at Goldberg in the Atlantic?
I think we need to wait for more information to come out. But again, this is not outside of the character of Donald Trump. This is a president who made fun of prisoners of war. This is a president who's made fun of the disabled. Again, we need to wait until we hear more information. But it's not outside of who Trump actually is. And I don't think that we should disregard it just because something that's done in journalism regularly when stories are breaking, and in that regard, I mean unnamed sources, is something that now conservatives are castigating as though it has never happened in the past. Unnamed sources are extremely important to cracking stories. And I don't think that we should, roll out the integrity of journalism based on the fact that this type of source that has been around for generations is now being thrown under because it is reporting something that's not likely.
You just used an oxymoron. You said integrity of journalism. That could be seen as an oxymoron. Final thoughts, Sebastian, about 30 seconds.
Yeah, anonymous sources are only important to the left when they feed into their propaganda attacks against the president. You know how this story is a lie? Very simply. In the last 24 hours on video, Jeffrey Goldberg said, my sources are not going to give out their names, senior military officials, quote, because they're afraid of the president's tweets. Excuse me, what? A senior military source who can go into a trench when bullets are flying, but is scared of the president's tweets? It's a crock. It's garbage. It never happened.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Sebastian and Ameshia, always good. I can't wait to get the phone calls this week about this discussion, debate with the both of you. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, sir.